We are live!
Welcome to the Uncle Jimmy and Cousin Donnie show, sponsored by the Beacon Tab, Signature Transportation Group, and Mom and Dad Water. Special co-host tonight, our boy Chris Harris, a.k.a. Harrison. What's up, my man? Look at you all decked out.
James, thanks for having me. Came in to look better than Donnie, have better hair.
Dude.
Let's light some people up.
Right away, the professionalism, the microphone. I could actually hear you for once. You're not in and out. This is great, dude.
Can you? Are you gonna ask me all those stupid questions you ask everybody?
Maybe.
All right. Maybe. I got some
Who
advice
knows?
for you.
I might just sit here and rip you for about 35 minutes. Who knows?
What new?
What's new exactly? So this weekend, man, you are the villain of the Coed game, from what I've been told, and I just thought it was a perfect idea to have you on to talk about the 13 or 14 teams that we have in this tournament. I know there's a lot of, not hatred, but a lot of competitiveness between all the teams.
Spirited fun, James. Spirited fun.
Yeah. So give me a little insight before. I mean, we're going to do the bracket breakdown later. We have a special guest tonight. Morgan Battistoni is going to join us for about 15 minutes. About the Coed game and what she's a part of, and hear the women's side of things. But before we get her on, what are you looking forward to this weekend?
This weekend is the grand scale. So you get the best teams. There's a host of Coed tournaments over the course of the summer, and you get some of the good teams. But this one gets all the good ones. So if you win it, you know you've done something special.
Yeah.
We've won it. We've been fortunate enough to win it a couple of times. Last year, I actually had Fat Jason on my team, so it was a double villain experience.
Ooh!
So total hatred around the park.
Awesome.
So yeah, that's what makes this one special compared to the other ones. The Melrose tournament, probably the other big one, because the payouts are so big, and teams just stack. Teams that don't play Coed just stack up a team for that and try and win the. They could get like $1,200 or something.
Yeah. Now the tournament is hosted in Melrose, correct? It's been hosted in Melrose.
Correct.
What year? How many years have they ran this tournament?
Funny story. I started the Coed Nationals with the SSA in 2017.
Okay.
It was in Forest Park then. And then I had a falling out with the SSA. We didn't talk for years. I continued to run it for a couple of years. They then took it back over in 21. 21.
Right.
21.
So when they took it back over in 21, I believe Slap and Tickle has now been the team over the last several years, along with HQ and a couple other teams that have won this tournament every year. I know Moist also, but I don't believe Moist is in this one. I did not see their name on the bracket.
Moist has won the Melrose tournament, which I would call the other big Coed tournament of the year.
Okay.
Slap and Tickle's won this one a couple of times. Enemy has won this a couple of times. If you go back to 2017, Slap and Tickle's won it 3 times. Enemy's won it 3 times. Express has won it like in the early years. But yeah, it's been about 8 years of this if you count all the actual years.
So we have our first comment come through. They say, "Who the fuck is this guy?" From our boy.
Well, I know who that is. Is he using his real name today?
He is. He is using his real name. He is not.
That's
hiding.
the man. That's the man that helped instigate a fight at the Chippy tournament when Rob Grisano tried to attack me.
Oh yeah,
he was umping the game and was cheering it on.
So, I was thinking about doing a top 10, rapid fire with you tonight. And I was going to have Robbie number one. But since you brought it up, and I know Morgan's in the green room, she just joined now. Tell us the whole story about Robbie Grisano, because Robbie is a Team Jagoff member, and I'd love to have dirt on my boy
Fittingly.
Robbie.
Sure. Well, I don't want to spill all the tea, but Rob and I used to play together. I don't.
Yeah.
It's not that I don't respect his skills as a player. He's a very talented player. We just had a personal falling out without getting into great detail. I may have mentioned that with some aggressive words at a tournament, and he kind of came after me. Okay. Al Rice bear hugged him, and the thing was over quickly. But
you wouldn't be the first guy he's attacked on the field, I don't think. So,
I named my team enemy for a reason. You watched pro wrestling growing up, right? I always rooted for the villains.
Right.
It was much more fun to get the heat, I thought. And
so
someone once told me, I have zero problems with Chris, but for 60 minutes when between the chalk, I hate his guts. Perfect. Right. Then we'll go have a beer after.
Jake Reynolds said, "Who is this dude wanted by the cops? Why is he blurred out? He's not blurred out, Jake. I can see him clear as day.
He's just smoking
in there.
Jake.
He's got the smoke, Jay. That's what he's bringing. He's bringing the smoke tonight. He gets to join the platform tonight in place of cousin Donnie. I was actually happy that you had texted me about the Coed game. Because as you know, I haven't played Coed softball in probably 15 years. Since a long time ago, since Clem Greco ran a team. I don't know if you remember Clem Greco. He used to run the Rats, and we used to play just in Wentworth, but it was a totally different Coed. It was a Friday night neighborhood league, and then we would go to Lawler's Bar. So it was one of those situations. But no, I'm excited that you actually texted me about it tonight, because I like to know a little bit more about the Coed game, and this is how we grow our game overall, especially with the women. So
you're making me sound like the Chrissy Eberhard of Coed.
You 100% are. So we are going to get over to our guest. I don't know if you've seen our guest here, but Morgan, she has joined. So I'm going to bring Morgan on. I've got some questions for Morgan. So as things come up, our boy Chris.
I have a title for Morgan. Is Morgan on yet? Wait, hold on.
Coming on right now. I just lost her. Oh, there she is. She's back on now. So let's get her going here. What's up, Morgan? Welcome to Young Jimmy.
Morgan, the best softball player in the Battistoni house. That's what it is.
So funny, Richie would actually agree with you.
Yeah, he does. He does say that all the
time.
He
won't play. When she was pregnant, he took slap and tickle out of any tournament. So that will tell you right there.
Smart man.
He's not dumb, Chris. There's a reason why Richie's dumb. So, Morgan, I appreciate you joining the show tonight. We're going to be breaking down. We're going to be breaking down the tournament bracket for this weekend. But I know that you were a previous MVP of this tournament. And so I thought it was only right to bring you on tonight to talk about this weekend, and then also let people know a little bit about yourself.
Sure.
So I'm going to kick it over to you. Tell us a little bit about yourself and just kind of your background with college softball, and then what led you to play, obviously, with the 16-inch or the 14-inch, which is this weekend.
Sure, yeah. Well, I actually started by playing baseball, and my dad had me in baseball until I couldn't play baseball anymore. And then my dad realized that I probably should be playing softball with girls and not baseball with boys. So we switched over, and I played travel ball in Elmwood Park. And then I played high school ball at East Leiden. And then I played softball at DePaul for 4 years. And then I coached softball at DePaul while I got my master's. And then I actually played when I met Richie. I was playing, we were just talking about this today. I was playing on a drinking fun team with my cousin, Nikki, who's actually now married to Maddie Richard, and Megan, who's married to Tommy Walsh and Mikey Mays. We all were playing on like a drinking team, and then that's where I met Richie. And then Richie kind of introduced me to the softball world, and that's kind of where I got my introduction into that. And then I met people, and it kind of just expanded from there. And that's how I started playing like 16-inch, and I play, usually I play Forest Park hard 14-inch, but obviously I've been out for a little while having babies and stuff. So, but yeah, so it kind of just went from there. Yep.
So really quick before I hand it over to Chris's first question,
Okay.
What year did you win the MVP of this tournament?
I
2
don't
years
know.
ago?
I have no idea. Richie would
Uh,
know. Let me see. 2023. It's on my
Richie is
wall.
Richie's holding
No,
up the flashcards, Chris, behind her.
no.
I believe
Richie,
it.
actually, in our basement, we calls it the wall of Mo, and it's all my accolades. This is all Richie, and I can see it on my wall, and it's Coed
There you
Mushball
go.
MVP 2023.
So 2023. So when you
Yes.
played in 2023, did our guy Chris Harrison right here, did he play in the tournament?
I
We
don't think
did.
there's ever been a tournament that he hasn't. So
Yeah.
yes.
So when
True.
he is out on the field, is it just straight villain? Like everyone
Yep.
just
I'm
like,
going.
go-
No.
we're all going after Chris?
Yep. That's what it is.
Dude, Chris, man.
Makes it more fun.
Hey, I love it, Chris. Go ahead with your first question.
So is when knowing that Richie now acknowledges you're the best player in the house, is there any jealousy there?
No, he supports me 100%. Honestly, the only reason we're even really in this tournament coming up is because I told him I wanted to play before the summer was over. And I had a baby July 8th, and then I had hernia surgery. So I was out for a while. So he really put us in this so that I could play and play with my friends and have fun. So no, he
I have one more
100% supports me
question.
playing.
Go
Yes.
One
ahead,
more
Chris.
question. Where is she playing women's in 2026? This is you
Ooh.
want a rumor mill? This is a big rumor mill going around.
There we go.
Women's?
More.
Women's
Where are you
next
playing?
year.
Women's.
Listen,
Rumor
I
mill.
am. I don't even know what day it is half the time having a toddler and a newborn. I have no idea. I haven't talked to anybody about anything for next year.
The rumor is Rich is going to start Hex on the women's side.
Well, then I will play for Hex.
There you go.
That's my answer. If Richie starts Hex on women's side, I'm playing for Hex.
There you go.
No, I honestly I have no clue. I've talked to some people, but not like within great detail. Nobody has said they wanted me next year, if that's what you're asking me.
It's a
Nobody's
total
reached
lie.
out to say they wanted me next year.
Total
So
lie. I'm
technically
tuned
I'm
into the
with
women's game
nobody.
too, James.
Uh-huh.
I'm tuned into the women's game too. I know what's going on. She's being recruited heavily.
I bet she is.
Well, nobody
Well-
has talked to me and said they wanted me next year. So
Ooh.
that's where we're at.
There you go. So tomorrow or Saturday, I should say, Saturday at 9 a.m., you guys play a team called HQ, which is
AHQ.
yeah, it's turned into a little bit of a rivalry with Jordan Dean and Brian Evans and those guys. It's a fun rivalry, but it's turned into a little bit of a rivalry. So yeah, Spencer. So tell us a little bit about that game, because I know that a couple years ago you guys played. It was kind of heated with Richie, of course, but give us a little background on that little fun, as we call the Coed game.
Well, I definitely think it's just competitive rivalry. I know like Jordan and his wife Lauren are super competitive. I mean, Brian's competitive. Richie's competitive. I'm competitive. So I think it's more of just competitive aspect. I think a couple years ago it got heated from other things as well. But I think now at this point, I don't know, 2 years later, 3 years later, I think it's just supposed to be a fun rivalry, if I could talk.
Yeah.
And honestly, at this point, I mean, 5 out of 6 of our women are moms. We're bringing our families out to the field. I think for us, it's just supposed to be really fun. And like I said, Richie put us into this to have fun so I could play and a couple other players could play after having babies. And so, I mean, it is competitive, and obviously any game we play, we want to win. But I don't think that's anything outside of that, or at least I hope
Haven't
not.
you played them? You guys have played them the last 3 years that you've been in the tournament, correct?
So yes, I know we played them first once, but I don't remember what year it was. Like I said, in my mind, I have pregnancy brain still.
Yeah.
We did play them first once, one other time. But yeah, I think it's just fun competitiveness. We're all competitive, but I don't think it's anything outside of that.
Very
I
cool.
mean, I
very
always
cool.
want to win. I'm sure they always want to win. That's what it is.
Yeah. Go ahead, Chris.
We knocked them out last year, by the way, in a walk-off in the 8th. It was a great game.
Oh, really?
Yeah, my girl
Do
Ann.
you remember stuff? I don't. I have no idea. Literally no clue.
It was a
Half the time I'm texting
fantastic game. It
people
was like
what
2-2 in the
ball we're
8th.
playing with.
I only remember because it was a great game. I can tell you no details about other games of that year, but that is a ridiculous first round matchup. I wish I wanted to get up early and come and see that. Hopefully, someone streams it.
Yeah. I don't.
What you guys play at 9 a.m. Is that right?
9 a.m. Yes.
Oh, here's the controversy, James. Have you heard about this?
Yeah, go
People
ahead.
requesting Saturday only and SSA allowing it. You're not tuned into this? like so Iowa teams always get at least the Friday. So it was told that there were 2 teams that said they would only go if they played Saturday. And whoa, those 2 teams have Saturday games, and everybody else has to play Friday. That was a big controversy.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
I've heard other people wanted to play Friday and asked for Friday, and then other people asked for Saturday. So I don't know outside of that, but I think like if you're allowed to ask, then everyone should be allowed to ask. But I don't know. I honestly don't know what the controversy is, but I
Well,
know that
let
people
me fill
wanted
you
to
in a
play
little bit,
Friday but
Morgan.
didn't get it. That's it.
So we had a
I'm in my own
tournament.
world half the time.
We had a tournament this year on the men's side that we
Yeah.
had a major team in Circus request to play only Saturday in order to get in the tournament. There was a lot of teams that were upset because of that. Because usually in a major event at that tournament, usually everyone plays Thursday and Friday night, and no team would ever get their first game on Saturday morning. So
Oh, right. Okay.
teams wanted to play, or a handful of teams found out about them requesting it. The SSA allowed it. Didn't necessarily. I think it was the only tournament the whole year, Chris, if I'm correct. Didn't have a live draw, and then
Correct.
it went into a big controversy in regards to some teams that were upset. Some teams dropped out of the tournament because of it. Other teams said they won't play in the tournament next year because of it. Obviously it's blown over, but then now what Chris is saying is that it happened again with this tournament with some teams, but they did do the draw live though, I thought, right?
Well, look at the chat, Jimmy. Richie is literally saying Slap and Tickle said Saturday only. He's being honest about it.
Yeah, Richie said also that AHQ wanted Friday. So
well, they told us you had to play Friday.
Yeah.
We were told you had to play Friday.
Okay.
Last year was Saturday
Yeah, I
only.
didn't know that.
It was a long
well,
Saturday.
they have rules, and I guess I don't know. I don't know what the rules are. I just know that we wouldn't. Yeah, I don't know.
Well, good thing you're not playing in the game, Chris, because Garzano is umping the game at 9 a.m. on Saturday.
See, that makes that game even more fun to watch.
Right? How many? What's
Robbie's
the over?
umping our game.
Yes. What is the over under on how many calls he blows?
Robbie.
What do you think, Chris?
Why don't we ask Rob why?
Great.
Why isn't Goat in this tournament? Who his team is traditionally in this tournament?
Oh yeah, that's true.
Where are they?
Who knows? That's a good question, Robbie. If you're listening, put in there why is Goat not playing this weekend? We'd like to know.
And also, can we give a quick shout out to my man Powder, who I see is chiming in from Florida for the first time. I've seen his voice in 10 years. Exiled to Florida to play 12-inch.
Yeah, for sure. Chris Johnson just said the over-under is 12 for Robbie Garzano. I hope not. That'd be a really bad game. So, Chris, do you have any other questions for Morgan before I get to my last couple?
Yes. Can you leave Richie and Slap and Tickle and play Coed with me, please? Thank you.
No shot. Slap and Tickle.
Look at him.
Forever,
Dude,
baby.
Look at him using the platform to recruit. I like
always
this guy.
recruiting. Jimmy, always recruiting.
That a boy. That a boy. So
listen, we don't even know how it's going to go this week. I haven't. Well, I did try swinging a bat one time since last year, but I have not swung a bat since last year.
She's a beast. So. Don't let her. Don't. She's walking in. She's trying to draw the outfielders in on HQ, and she's going to launch it over their heads.
There you go.
Not.
And that 14-inch ball is a lot different. So you could definitely crush it.
Yeah, that ball's hard.
Yeah. So we talk a lot on this show about the women's game with Christine and what the Why Me tournament was about. We also talk about growing softball a lot on this show, not only on the men's side, but somewhat on the women's side, more on the women's side of late. Tell me something that you think would help grow the women's game, right now at the state that it's in.
Yeah. I just think it's really hard to grow women's sports. And people just aren't interested in women's sports. And I think that like certain things help. Like I know like Why Me was really big and we talked about that before. And I think that's due to like it being such a good foundation and a lot of people just reaching out. It's a fun, there is competition, but it's more of fun. Like I go there and I see Jen and we hang out, and I think it's a lot about being around friends and family and having fun. And I think that that's obviously something that gets people out. I also think I was just actually telling Richie that like when women's tournaments coincide with men's tournaments, I feel like the men are almost forced to watch the women's tournament and give us a little bit more views. But it's hard. I mean, I know like I can't commit to a strict schedule for women's softball, and I know like, a lot of people can't, and I feel like that's difficult. But like having tournaments coincide with men's, I think would be super helpful. Obviously, I know Chrissy's working on streaming women's games, and just getting us out there. That would be super helpful. Obviously, I have a whole life of my own right now, so I can't volunteer for that. But
Right.
people who are willing to do that, I think would be helpful. It's just, women's sports just aren't men's sports, and it is what it is, and
Yeah.
that's fine. But I do think like tournaments that coincide with men's, like, I know it's hard to have like a Forest Park tournament for women. There's only the two fields and the men use them, but just something like that where the women's is just as big or tries to be just as big and the men, are kind of forced to watch us play, and
Yeah.
it could be fun that way. I just don't think that we're gonna get a bunch of people to go to women's tournaments, especially a lot of the tournaments are on the south side, and even for me that's hard to commit to. So for people to drive out there is difficult as well. So maybe getting bigger tournaments more on the north side would be helpful. But I also think as women, we just need to grow it. There's always like Hangovers, Renegades, Lunatics, and a couple other teams, and that's it. And that's where we get to in the championship games. And
Yeah.
eventually that's not even fun to play anymore. So I can't imagine it's fun to watch anymore. So, I mean,
Right.
just, if we can get more teams in and more women just willing to play, and then obviously bring them along with the men, and then, getting women streamers, I think that would help.
So
But
yeah. So next
realistically,
year
it's hard.
we're running a tournament, as you know. I've already contacted Christine. So in June 26th and 27th, we're doing the round robin thing on Friday night with all the men, and then Saturday I'm actually bringing the women out to the field.
Yeah.
We're gonna have a small tournament on the B field out there. We might have to use the park across the street, but all depends on how the times and things work out. But either way, it's going to be, you guys are going to be out there with us that day. And I told
Yeah, and that's
Christine,
awesome.
we're going to put that together. We're going to make that happen. And we're hopefully we can get to 6 or 8 teams on the women's side. We haven't talked about, obviously it's going to be 16-inch.
Yeah.
So it's not going to be 14-inch, but either way, maybe we do a 14-inch. Maybe we change it up for you guys. Something that we're going to work on and talk about. But what I wanted to ask you, and you kind of hinted on it a little bit, you mentioned about college softball and certain things. How do we get more women? You talk about growing game, right? How do we get more women from college? If you think about all the travel softball girls teams that are in Illinois, all the organizations, it's a huge, huge foundation of cross Illinois. How do we get some more of those girls to really play when they're done with their college career to possibly get into your game?
Yeah, I think
What do
it
you
has
think
to,
would be?
like I said, I think it has to do with bringing it a little bit closer to home. I mean, I know there's obviously teams on the south side and girls on the south side that'd be willing to play, but it's really hard when I think all of our tournaments are pretty much,
Yeah.
far south side. So getting them to go out there, and then I just think, word of mouth obviously helps, and I am guilty of not really spreading the word either. And I think if the tournaments are closer, you can get people around here to come, or you can pick them up and carpool and convince them to come out, have fun.
Right. Right.
So I think that's the way, like I said, it's kind of hard to have people, like I could never get people because from college, like I said, it's people in Texas, California, Florida. So in that regard, but people who go to locally, who go to school locally, I think, if they had options that were closer around here, and I know there's leagues, but it's also hard to commit to like Sunday nights, which I play on, but even those are difficult, or like Saturdays or Fridays. So I think it's initially getting people out there, and if they're closer to here, and then kind of, getting them excited to play. It's obviously a different level of competition. You go from college softball to this, it's more fun. So obviously putting some exaggeration on the fun. But yeah, I think it's hard. It is,
Yeah.
because it's just a different level of competition, and then a different commitment. And sometimes when you get out of college, you've been committed to playing sports in school, and so you kind of want to just hang out. So I feel like maybe making it more of a fun thing than a competition thing to begin with would benefit, but
Yeah.
it's tough.
Chris,
James.
what do you have
James,
to add to
because
that?
Chris has a question here.
Yeah.
Morgan, isn't
Yes.
it? Do you think it's true, at least on the women's side, that there's teams from the south side that will not go north of like 95th Street? They
I
will
have
not come
heard
up
that,
north to play. You
but
haven't
we
heard
haven't
that?
had tournaments to prove it. So we don't really host any big tournaments. So I've heard that Southside teams don't want to go Northside. I haven't seen it, but we haven't really hosted much Northside. So It is. I
Well,
mean, the drive sucks, but all our north side girls go south side to play a lot. I just think the competition maybe needs to grow a little bit more. Like a Hangovers is typically a south side team. And then we got the Renegades and Lunatics on north side. And then I feel like that's pretty much where we end up every time. So,
but then
I
even
mean,
the
it's
West
kind of
Side has the
silly.
Harrison League on Mondays, and there's 4 teams in it, which is just
See, leagues are
disappointing.
so hard. And being a mom and a lot of women are moms, it's just so hard to commit to leagues. And I can't even, younger women, maybe, but I don't
Yeah.
know. It's like a big
Maybe tell Richie he
conversation.
can't play Monday, Wednesday, Tuesday, Thursday, and you
How
play
about
one
you
day.
tell Richie that? You let me know how that goes.
Let's see how it goes in the final section here.
Hey, Chris. Hopefully Richie doesn't run into you on Saturday.
I love Richie, by the way. I
There
love
might not
Richie.
be no more villain.
One of my
Yeah.
favorite players. He stole my colors in softball, or I stole his. We don't know. We'll make it a blur.
There you go. There you go. So we have a bunch of people jumping on. I just want to say hello to our boy I mentioned, Chad Harold's on the future Hall of Famer, just inducted in the Hall of Fame in Iowa. So welcome our boy Paul, our boy Staples. Staples is lighting up the chat right now, trying to say that Morgan was the 2019 ASA and USA Women's National MVP of the Amber Woodworth tournament.
I was. That's on my wallet.
God knows how he knows that, but
I'll
he
say she
does.
remembers.
Thank you for remembering, because I don't.
Yeah. Thanks, Staples. Appreciate that. We have our boy Peckus who's trying to call out Staples. They're going at a war on there. So, welcome, Tom. Welcome, Danny. Welcome, Jesus. Welcome, Cookie. Welcome, Dean. Welcome, Josh Moran. So, welcome, guys, to the Uncle Jimmy Cousin Donnie show. We have our boy Chris, aka Harrison, sticking in tonight for Cousin Donnie. But Chris, go on with your next question. I only have one more question for Morgan, and that'll be it for me. But go right ahead.
I'm going to ask you about the why me. No one wants to play in the upper division. You guys only get like 6 teams in the upper division.
Yep.
But those teams in the B division are pretty solid teams. If you could draw from those B and A, you could get a legit tournament with about 12 teams. Why can't that happen?
You're
Put
asking
it
the
on
wrong
the south side
person.
if you have to, because the north side teams drive. You guys will go down there.
Yeah, we would. You're asking the wrong person. Well, now it's harder with kids, but you just tell me what size ball we're playing with and where you need me. And as long as, me and Richie have to talk about it. And as long as I have a babysitter or Richie will watch him, I'm there. Obviously, it's really hard, like on men's tournament weekends, because I do willingly take the kids and let Richie play the game he loves. But if I'm free, I'm in. So I would love to play AB. I want there to be more teams. I think it's hard. I know that's why the Lunatics broke off from Renegades to try to make more teams. And I would hope that we keep doing that, because I mean, nobody wants to play A, or I think we're A. And I would love to play more teams. So I have no idea why we can't. I'd be in.
I wonder if we can get an Iowa women's team in next year. I'm pretty sure they would if we.
I keep hearing about that. They're at some point they're going to bring a team. They play 14-inch hardball.
I would love that. That'd be awesome.
Yeah. I think that would be cool to maybe get Iowa in for the weekend. That would help a little bit. Just add another team. It's just tough to come in though when they're traveling for one day. You know what I mean? But
yeah, that is true.
But either way, I think something that it could be talked about moving forward. We just had the second most handsome man in softball join us, Mr. Joey Carbs. Welcome to the show, Joey.
Legend.
So Morgan, my
Yes.
last question to you is really around like, as a wife of a man who plays major softball. Okay.
Yes.
Richie plays a lot of tournaments. Richie goes out and does a lot of things. Very similar to myself. So, we always think, I don't think a lot of people understand the work and things that go into what you guys do to allow us to kind of play our game and what we love the most. But I do know that there's sometimes that you're like, no, you're staying home, right?
Yeah.
But tell the women out there why you let Richie go and do the things he likes to do in the softball world as much as you do, because I think one of the reasons that a lot of guys don't play more is because of the spouses and because of, other things, family and stuff like that as well. We always talk about commitment, right? So that's what I'm trying to get at here. And I'm not saying that all, but most seem to have some issues with men playing all the time. Why do you think that is? Do you think it's just because of
Because it's
family?
hard. It's hard.
Yeah,
I mean, it's hard being the one at home with kids, especially, or, you can't do something one night a week because your husband's playing. I mean, it's not easy. And
right.
I grew up in a family where my dad and my uncles played softball, and that's where we were at every weekend. We were at the softball field at Majewski. My mom was there, my aunts, my uncle Mike, he still runs or helps run Dynasty. My uncle Davey doesn't play anymore, but he was there. My dad, my mom had us out at Majewski every weekend. And so I feel like I grew up around it and I love the sport. And obviously I play and I'm willing to bring my kids out there. But I mean, I understand too why a lot of women don't want to. And that's probably
Yeah,
not the right answer. But it's hard because, I mean, you're gone, you're committed to softball. When you're out there, you're focused and you want to play. And for
yeah,
me, my biggest thing is that he loves it. It's obviously it's good for him. It's fresh air. It's outside. It's exercise. It's competition. So I support it 100%. I love that he plays. I love going out there and watching. But yeah, I mean, sometimes I have to put my foot down and tell him,
yeah,
we have kids, and especially now, our oldest Carter, he's starting sports. So, at times I have to tell Richie, and he knows, and he willingly does it. But he's trying to help coach Carter, and he's working with Carter in baseball, and then eventually our two daughters are going to play. So I mean,
right.
it is committing to something now because you can, but eventually, you do have to let up a little bit. And we've had that talk plenty of times, and he's been out of a couple of those neighborhood tournaments. You can't go to the
No, yeah,
you
I
know
know. I know my
the
wife
other
will tell you
tournaments
I
that
have
don't make
not lived.
sense. But for Hex, I'm 100%, and then Slap and Tickle, I'm 100% behind, and that's fine. And I love that he loves it. And I love supporting him, and I like bringing the kids out there and watching their dad play. So
Yeah. Well, this is the part of the show. Thank you again. This is the part of the
yeah,
show that we ask the guests if there's any questions. I know Donnie's not here tonight, but we have a pretty good looking guest, I guess, if you want to say that. I don't know
Thank
what
you.
outfit he's got on over there, but
you got to take your arm
uh,
backwards.
he is filling in for Donnie tonight, and he's doing a great job. So thank you, Chris. But Morgan, is there
My
any
pleasure.
questions that you have for Chris or that I don't know that's maybe come up during the show or just in general?
No, I'm bad. I don't have any questions. I think we're good. I can answer any questions, but nope, I don't have any questions.
All right, all right, I'll take that. So with that being said, Morgan, we appreciate you joining us. Good luck this weekend. Chris and I are going to break down this tournament bracket right now.
Cool.
We're going to go with some lines, and we're going to throw out some, some namers and things like that. That hopefully, Chris, being the guru over here of the Coed game, hopefully he's going to be pretty accurate. So if you see Chris this weekend, tell him he was wrong. All right, whatever it is.
Perfect.
All right, Morgan. Thank you
Thanks.
so much for joining us.
Thanks, Morgan.
Of course. Thank you
Appreciate it.
guys.
Have a good one.
Bye.
All right, my man. You heard it there. Is she going to be the MVP of this weekend? Is Zappa Tickle going to repeat?
I'm going back to 23. We played when they still had the Rosemont Dome, Coed.
Yeah.
We played in that a few years. Every year, the championship game was Slap and Tickle and us. Slap and Tickle beat us every freaking year. And
Really?
Morgan was the MVP every year. She would get a huge hit, always. Just a huge, like a line drive to right center and just win the game. Always.
So that leads us into the bracket, right? So the top game up there is what we talked about with Morgan, and that is the Slap and Tickle versus the AHQ.
This is a great,
Dean.
Great game. Great game.
All right.
AHQ,
So give us a
Tommy
little background on
Lentine.
that.
AHQ, Tommy Lentine, Spencer. I assume they're playing Spencer, Evans, Dean, female Dean. I think Lauren's playing.
Right.
Just a great team. And then Slap and Tickle. I heard they have everybody back, which means that Nate's coming back. Nate's the original member of the Chris Harris fan club.
Right.
Nate, Foz is playing, Morgan, Richie, Al Rice,
Right.
Marola, Holstein. I think they're loaded. This game, someone knocked to the loser bracket right here is like major nationals when it was Signature and Resmondo. This is a big dog game right here. And then they play in the TTF.
Yeah,
This
and
is a
who is
pick'em.
TTF? Give us a background on TTF.
TTF, Richie Rico's team, always good. They, on paper, aside from Chippy, who's obviously anyone would want Chippy, just a solid team. They have
Yep.
2 former enemy players, the dynamic duo of Ange and Gabby, who are just lights out.
Okay.
They played with us last year when we won it all. They're on TTF this year because Ange's dating Richie. But great team, solid.
Right.
Just don't make errors. Solid team. So that top 3 is like the winner could come out of that easily.
Okay.
So I'd
So
call
let's.
Slap and Tickle AHQ an absolute pick'em game and a
Okay.
great game to watch.
Perfect. So you just took the words right out of my mouth. I was going to ask you the line for Slap and Tickle, and we're just going to say AHQ. We're going to say is a pick. What are the odds on? So you're saying the odds on Slap and Tickle and AHQ, the winner of that game, you think runs it out to the winners bracket final?
I mean, TTF's going to give them a run for their money. TTF is on paper, like I said, they don't look like they have everybody. They have Stevie, Chavez. They got people that can hit, and their defense is always stellar.
Right.
So it goes from one good game to another good game. So maybe the winner of that game is definitely going to winner champ. But then I heard we'll get to the game after that. I heard some of the people that are on this Never Cared team, which they ended up.
Slow your roll,
up
Chris.
doing.
Let me get there.
All right,
I'll call the game out, all right, buddy?
So I'm going to
we
pick them on S&T and HQ, and to win the tournament.
So the winner of that game, who do you think is going to win that game? You got to make a choice, dude.
If I had to pick between Slapping, if they have everybody, if they have Nate, Foz, obviously they have Morgan, Al Rice, Marola. I heard they don't have Eric Netzella this year, who has always been with them, which is interesting. But they don't have him. But I mean, they're not going to come without a loaded team.
Okay. So let's just say Slap and Tickle wins. They're going to play TTF. What is the line on the TTF Slap and Tickle game?
I'd give a run or run and a half to Slap and Tickle on that.
All right. So we're going to go run.
If they have what I hear they have, which is absolutely loaded.
That's fine. So Slap and Tickle is going to be a minus a run and a half against TTF, and they're a pick 'em against the AHQ team. Perfect. So moving down, that moves us down to the Smoking Bats, and it looks like Never Cared. Tell me who's on the Smoking Bats.
Smoking Bats is a team run by Jose Cruz and his girl. Good young team.
Yep.
Could surprise people. Just a solid team. A lot of A players on the team, but no one that's going to screw up. No one that's going to, throw a game for you because they made a bad error.
Anyone in the major level that's on Smoking?
No. And some 12-inch guys from what I've heard. Their girls are solid. Formidable. But I heard who's on Never Care, which is a couple Pharaohs.
Yeah.
They got Pharaohs outfield. They got Eddie Santana from March. They have Julian Gutierrez.
Okay.
So, and their girls I heard are stellar. They have, I don't know if you know Alyssa, her father owns Harlow.
Uh-huh.
Her and her sister. So they're gonna be something to be reckoned with. They could be a sleeper team.
Okay. So Never Cared. What is Never Cared's odds to win the tournament? If you had to throw it out there.
100 to 1.
100 to 1. Okay. Nice. All right. So the winner of that would play one of my favorite team names is I'd Hit That. So
I Hit That dropped out. Here's some breaking news. So they couldn't form it for some reason. They said, "Oh, we didn't know we have to play at 10 o'clock." First of all, this team is made up of a bunch of like 25-year-olds. How can you not play Friday at 10 p.m.? When they heard they had to play at 10 p.m., they're like, "We don't want to play at 10. Can you move the game till 9 a.m. on Saturday?" And they pulled the people.
Why couldn't they play at 9 a.m.? Oh, because they got other games.
They couldn't play at 10 p.m. No, who can't play at 10 p.m. on Friday? They said they couldn't play at 10. They asked to move the game to 9 a.m. on Saturday, and the people from Smoking Bats and Never Cared said, "No, we're playing at 10. If not, they're dropping," and they dropped. So they ate the money and dropped from the tournament for some reason. And they did some damage last year. I think they were 2-2 last year. Good young team out of Des Plaines, all 25 and under of kids you probably wouldn't know, but just a solid team. But they dropped because they didn't want to play at 10 p.m. on Friday.
Huh. Interesting. Maybe they got to go to. Well, they can't even go to church on Saturday morning. So what could it possibly be?
Friday at 10 p.m. I don't know. They're already knee deep in party drugs. I don't know.
Maybe they're clubbers, dude. You don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
They're going to nightclubs. Maybe they're at Papa Magoo's Friday night. Who knows? So the next game, I believe, is Enemy versus Who's Got It. Am I correct on that?
Correct.
Yeah.
And I can't,
Enemy
obviously, I
versus Who's
can't pick
Got
my
It.
own
That
team.
game at Friday night at 8 p.m. on field, I believe, 1. So start with those two teams.
Ooh, Enemy?
Enemy. Who's Enemy?
Enemy that's Jesus, my team. Pretend like you know something, Jim. So Travis Smith, MVP 2024.
Yep.
Trav and some of the high white guys, Cha, Jazz, KJ, and them. Our girls are solid. People always underestimate us. We've won this thing twice, and when we won it, people are like, "How did they win it?" I don't know. We have good players. That's how we won it, and we played solid ball, and we didn't make errors. I think the key is you have to have girls that can play defense, and our girls can play defense.
Right.
Who's got it is Carly Okre's team, and a new member of the Chris Harris fan club, Nick Casano. He's on that team.
Nick.
Obviously.
Yeah. No,
Great
Nick
player.
well.
Great player. Plays with a ton of energy, a little bit
Great
of anger,
spot player.
which I love. So it's Nick and Carly. I don't know who they have with them because a lot of their players also play on Lunatics during the park season. So I don't know who's going with Lunatics necessarily and who's going with Who's Got It, but I wouldn't underestimate Who's Got It. Maybe someone could chime in. But I know Nick always watches, but someone could. I don't know who they exactly have, so I can't put a line on that. I'm not going to put a line on my own game anyway.
Who's pitching for Enemy? Our boy Alex Cotto wants to know.
Oh, everyone's favorite tease, Alex Cotto. Who's Alex going to next year? Hey, rumor mill, Alex, if you're going to chime in, say who you're going to.
Hey, we're going to talk about that at the end a little bit, Chris. So
Alex will dangle until the first tournament of May before he commits to anybody. I love Cotto, by the way. Good kid. He played with Enemy in league ball for a while.
Nice. So
where are we at? I can't pick that game I'm in it. So I'm telling you, Who's Got It's a solid team. We're a solid team.
Yeah, you can't pick it. You're in it. I get it. Lunatics versus Fat Kids.
Lunatics are they just on paper, their girls are phenomenal. Their guys are just solid and they win. And somehow just win. Not with a lot of major dudes even, but the guys all just contribute and they get stuff done.
Okay. And then Fat Kids, I'm assuming Fat Kids are some of the Fat Kids from
Macho, Noach, Scott Gates, Luke, Brandon. And then their girls are all really good. Fat Kids were in the finals last year. We had to double dip them to win it. Always good.
Yep.
Just based on, I don't know who Lunatics have, but it's hard to go against Fat Kids. They also picked up Trey from High Y. That's a great pickup. Okay. And I'm not sure, but last year they had Anthony Stacy as well. So those are two.
A newly committed Fat Kid for major softball next year.
So that means he's got to be playing with them this weekend if he's committed to the men's team, right?
I'm sure he'll be out there this weekend. That would be my guess.
So I would give Fat Kids a slight edge there.
Who gets it?
I'd give Fat Kids the slight edge there. But again, Lunatics just somehow find a way to win.
Okay. They said Fat Kids have Trey and Julian Russell this weekend. So that's a nice.
And Stacy Cotto or no?
Yeah, and Stacy. So
they're totally loaded.
Yeah, they're loaded up with some major guys, so that'll be huge.
You should pick just based on the guys because you don't know the girls, Jim. But I'm telling you, the girls on Fat Kids are all solid, and the girls on Lunatics are exceptional as well.
All right. So I'm going to pick the Fat Kids there because Fat Kids, is the team I sponsored at Major Nationals. I like the Fat Kids team a lot.
Great
I like
team.
those guys a lot. They're
good
really,
people.
They're good people. They really are. So
who's Peckus playing with? Because I see him in the chat 900 times.
Peckus is probably not playing at all, I would guess. So let's move on to the next game. We got Fat Kids winning that one. So Fat Kids will play you. I'm picking your squad to win that first game. So we got you and Fat Kids in that little quadrant. The next one is Joker, Drizzle versus Fit Flamingos.
Spicy Flamingos. I mean,
so the
Feisty
Flamingos. I actually have a shirt that is, I believe, Christine's team. Correct?
Did you have to pay for it or no?
No, she sent it to me, dude.
It's very nice of her.
So,
you're right. Flamingos have Cotto. They usually have Schaefer, Cotto. If I remember who they have, Eric Nadzilla's playing with them instead of Slap and Tickle this time.
Yeah.
I don't know who Jokers have on the girl side because a couple of my favorite girls, the Perriman sisters, Jenna's playing with Lunatics. Hannah's playing with Slap and Tickle, and they are two absolute beasts. So I don't know who the Jokers have. So I'm going to give the slight advantage to Flamingos, just based on that alone.
What
But
guys?
Jokers always come with a solid team.
What guys?
Jokers?
Flamingos. Who are they going to have?
Kodo, Eric Netzilla. They have Schaefer. Kodo, chime in if you know more of the players.
Yep.
Because I don't know past. I thought Julian might be playing with them, but Kodo just said that he's playing with Fat Kids, which is like where are people going to play? You have three shortstops. You have Julian, Trey, Macho. Who's playing where?
Well, I'm sure Julian will be at short. Trey will probably be at short center.
Well, we just heard Carbs is going to be on the Flamingos bench, so there's a difference maker.
Well, if Carbs is coaching, you got to give them the slight edge because Carbs is a distraction when on the field.
Right. The ladies are all going to be looking at Carbs.
Right. Exactly. So that winner of that game, which is who are you going to pick there?
I'm gonna give Flamingos a slight advantage there.
Flamingos. All right. So we're going to have Flamingos minus what in that game?
One and a half, 2, somewhere around there.
Okay, we're gonna say 2 because you've been saying 1.5 for every game. You can't do that, Chris. Okay, so we're gonna go with Flamingos versus Base Bullies. Now,
Base Bullies up and coming team.
Okay, who's on the Base Bullies?
Some 10 deep dudes. You got like Giz and stuff. I don't know who they're picking up for this tournament. A couple other players play on Smoking Bats as well, so that kind of divvies the team up a little bit.
Right.
Solid team, and they just keep getting better. They started out getting their butts kicked and then just picked up people, stayed together with their core, got better and better. Good young team. But I would give the slight advantage to Flamingos again. All right. If you don't want me to say 1.5 again, I'll go 2.5, 3 against Base Bullies.
Okay.
But I don't know if Base Bullies are going to pull something out of their hat.
All right. No, that's fine. So we have the Flamingos in the semis facing you or the Fat Kids. I am going to say I'm going to flip a coin right now because I don't know either team. I don't have a damn coin on me, do I? Oh, yes, I do. I'm going to flip a coin. You're going to be heads.
Okay.
I'm going to be tails. Well, not me personally, but the Fat Kids, because I like the Fat Kids. That's the team I sponsor. So I would pick the Fat Kids just in spite of you, Harrison. But I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt here, okay? All right, my man. So you are tails. And I just flipped a quarter over the computer.
And you can't even see it. You know, umpires are using the coin flip app on their phone.
Here we go.
Now.
Hold on. It is heads. Who did I say was heads?
I believe you said it was Fat Kids that were heads.
Yeah, Fat Kids move on. Fat Kids in the Final Four. They will play the Flamingos on the one side, okay? On the other side, we have Slap and Tickle, and I think you said Never Cared would walk out of that bracket, right?
Yeah, from what I've heard from who they picked up, I think they went 2-2 last year. They did a little bit of damage, but they should get to play what I'm going to say is Slap and Tickle.
All right. So Slap and Tickle, unfortunately, you lost the coin flip. So we got Fat Kids versus Flamingos. So who do you got in the S&T and Never Cared game? Would you go? Are
just
you based
on history and hearing that they have everybody? Have to go with S&T. I mean, if they have everybody, that is a powerhouse team because there's girls on that team that can out-hit guys on some other teams. There are just beasts.
Beasts, gotcha. And then you have Fat Kids and Flamingos on the bottom.
Fat Kids.
Fat Kids. Okay.
If they have Julian, Trey, and Stacy as their pickups, again, I don't know where people are playing. Noach is probably going to be sitting himself on the bench at that point.
Right.
Gates, Luke, Brandon. I mean, just that's a lot of dude talent, and their girls are all solid.
So the rules for this tournament, you have to have how many guys on the field?
It's 5 and 5, and you can play anywhere. So you could put 3 guys in the outfield if you wanted, and some do. We usually play a girl in the outfield. Turn the double play with a stronger arm at short center, stuff like that. That's like the decision you have to make. Fat Kids last year, I think, played 3 guy outfielders. And I forget who was their girl short center, but she was solid as well. And then they had Trey actually played the outfield. I think Macho played shortstop. I think Stacy pitched last year, if I recall
Right.
correctly.
Okay. So going into this night, who did you? I mean, you can't say yourself. That's the rule on the
Right.
show. But going into the night, who did you have winning this tournament?
I like Slap and Tickle.
Okay.
I like the if everything is true from what I've heard that they're loaded up, Slap and Tickle is going to be a tough out. But if HQ wins that first game, they have just as good a shot. That first game, a 9 a.m. Saturday game that drops someone to the loser bracket of that level.
Yeah.
That's and I will say last year we lost our first game and ran it back 8 games to win the double dip to win the tournament. 8 games
Really?
in 12 hours, I think it was. So it's doable. We're rubbing icy hot on our legs and stuff, but we somehow won it.
Really, that's incredible. That is something. You are the second team. I mean, obviously, that I've ever heard losing the first game and running the whole tournament to win the tournament at a somewhat. Let's just call this a major level. This is your major level of the Coed
All the
game.
dudes. I mean, 90% of the dudes are major level, or 80%, 89%.
Right.
I mean,
so the other team was Wolfpack, I believe, in the B National.
yes.
They lost the first game and played like 11 or 12 games on Saturday to win the tournament. So
I was there. They won it. It was midnight. Was the if game to win it? It went to like 1 a.m.
they had like a rain delay, right, for 2 or 3 hours.
Rain
or
delay.
something.
No, the rain delay was on Friday, so they had to put games. They had attack games on Saturday, so
Gotcha.
it was crazy long. Yeah.
Yeah, I
My
heard
team
about
was
that.
thrown out of that tournament.
I actually got some Snapchats about that night, and there was a lot of people at the field about 8 o'clock that night, 9 o'clock, watching games, which is exactly what I believe Francisco wanted. And then, of course, as it got later on at midnight, well, you can't expect people to stay out there past midnight, but either
There was
way,
a good crowd there till midnight.
Was there?
I want to say a couple hundred people still when it all went down at the end.
Interesting, huh? Interesting how people stay at the field on a Saturday night, Chris. Isn't that funny how that works?
I like this format. Get it done on Saturday, and I think the ship is at 6 and the if's at 7.
Yeah.
Last year, I think it ended at 10 last year. I think the if was at 9 o'clock or 9:30 or something like that, which still wasn't too bad when they tried to squeeze it in one day. But if we want to talk about all your things, the pet peeves, if you're going to ask me those questions, getting it done on a Saturday, even Forest Park, how many people there on Saturday night compared to Sunday and who drinks on a Sunday compared to who drinks on a Saturday? Totally different.
Totally different, man. I've been saying this for years. They tell me the concessions. I'm like, dude, your concession stand would triple on Saturday nights or double at least if the tournament ended Saturday night. I 100% agree. And I think if it doubles Saturday, you're going to make more money on Saturday that will definitely cover what you put on Sunday.
And you can go late. You can go late. You could go the if game could be at 11:30 p.m. Nobody gives a shit.
Nope. I agree. There's no doubt. And those are the small little things that we always talk about on the show about improving the game and doing things. Hence why next year, I know you play on 40 Deuce. You did this year, and I'm assuming you're going to play there next year.
Well, you're assuming too much.
As we get into rumor mill right now, let's bring you back to the big screen.
All right.
So we have Slap and Tickle winning the 2025.
Well, I can't pick myself, so I'm saying that if I had to pick one of the best teams in there, if whoever wins that HQ Slap and Tickle game is going to be a tough out. TTF, if they knock them off, also a tough out.
Right. So the winner of that quadrant, you're saying, is basically has a great shot to run the table and get to the championship and win it. So, which is what I kind of expected based on what I've heard with what Slap and Tickle has. Absolutely. So, anything else you want to cover about the Coed game before we get to our last couple minutes here of the show in regards to what we want to talk about with Rumor Mill?
Now, when you talk about even your tournament next year, I met with Paul Rowan and a couple people that are trying to grow the Coed game, and everybody knows Les Duncan as well, who used to do a Coed World Series, and to trying to get another that level tournament. Paul Rowan's like, well, we got to do a qualifier and this and that. I'm like, nobody's going to do a qualifier. Just do it like the SSA does it. And what they're finally doing is, you have to turn your rosters in before the tournament, because there were people just hanging around waiting to get on a roster when they saw somebody won last year. Now you have to turn your rosters in. It has to be somewhat official. But the ASA refused to do that when we met. And Paul Rowan's a good dude, but forget the qualifier. Just do the tournament. Call it. I think I saw Staples say that the Amber Woodworth is considering an ASA tournament. That's a great co-ed tournament on the south side. Yep. Call that your qualifier then, and then do your tournament.
Yeah, we played in it. I actually play in that one every year, believe it or not. I play with Jake, and we have a blast. This year was the first year that they ever played 14-inch. So I'll tell you, it is different hitting a 14-inch.
It is. You have to square it up.
I never played 14-inch until this year, and it is different. It is a different swing for sure. But either way, they played on those small fences. People were hitting it over. Well,
they moved parks, right?
Huh?
They moved parks. It used to be over in Worth, and now it's somewhere a little further southwest, I think.
Right. It was at 104th and like Ridgeland, or 107th and Ridgeland, over by like the
Crestwood, I think. Is that Crestwood? Or Crest
yeah. That's what it used to be. Now it's at like some baseball complex last year. I think they'll go back to 16-inch. I mean, it's usually a 16-inch tournament, co-ed. I think they'll go back to 16-inch. I didn't hear many good things come out of it with the 14-inch, but I like the 14-inch from the aspect that I feel the girls can hit it better. And I think it makes the games, it doesn't make a lot of the girls automatic outs. And I think for the girls aspect, they like to hit the 14-inch too, which actually
I think it's the hardest ball to hit. You have to hit it in the middle, or it goes straight up or straight down.
Yeah.
16-inch is a little more forgiving, but I think the argument was always in defense. A guy hitting a 16-inch in co-ed could rip a girl up at third. But if you have Foz or Morgan at third, or Kate at third, they're fielding that ball anyway with a glove on. But that was always the argument. It was almost the defensive end. The ball was too hard, which kind of a bullshit argument to begin with. Right. I like co-ed 16 and 14 to me are interchangeable. If you got the people that can play it, they can play both.
Right. So, well, yeah, I mean, I think that the co-ed game, I think, helps grow softball, to your point. I think it makes it more interesting. It gets women involved, which is always a good thing. And it also brings people to the park. And I think you hit it you hit it on the head earlier. Like, it's a one-day thing. More people are going to be at the park. There's families, I think Morgan said, and stuff like that. So I'm actually excited to hear. I know my kid's got a football game Saturday out in Bartlett. So I'll be out there most of the day, but maybe I'll swing by in the afternoon and see who's around. I mean, the championship's at 6 o'clock?
6, yeah.
So maybe I can get out there for a little bit to check some of the action out. It'd be pretty cool. Maybe I'll even do a little in-game interview with you while you're playing out there. Are you playing this weekend, or are you just coaching?
No, I'll play, coach. We'll see what happens. I got about 9 dudes on my roster as well, so keep everybody happy.
There you go. All right, let's move into rumor mill, my man.
Okay.
Tell me what's going on at the A level, right?
Let's
talk about some of the A teams.
Right.
So,
everybody's favorite tease, Alex Cotto. Where is he going? Is he going to major like he was supposed to do last year?
Right.
And I know Cotto's watching because he's chimed in about 5 times.
I heard a good one yesterday about the A level, and that's YTD coming back.
I heard that a week ago. Yeah.
YTD is going to be happen next year. My understanding that all the Doss brothers are going to go there, and I think they're going to bring YTD back. I don't know. I'm assuming they're going to play in the Forest Park A League would be my guess. And I don't know much more than that, but I did hear that yesterday. So that is a good, and it came from a good person. So I think it's a lot of truth to that rumor.
I would believe that. I played in the A League on Melrose on Monday, and Jack and Andrew were playing on Goodwood. But I think they were just subbing out. Yeah. And me completely forgetting that I was going to be on this show on Thursday, I should have asked them about that. But I had heard that a week ago as well.
Yeah. So I also heard there's one individual that is going to be going to. He was the master of the cooler is what we called him at the major level. He used to drink everything in the cooler, and that is Will Russ. Will Russ is going to Traffic, and he will be pitching next year for Traffic. That is a rumor that is on the street.
I heard that through the grapevine, and that means that they would upgrade by 55 years at the pitching mound for their starter. Probably a good thing. Traffic's always a solid team.
Yep.
Always a solid team. Probably should have been in Forest Park. I think Carbs will tell you that as well. I don't know what the disagreement they had or fight, whatever, but super good team that played in the Melrose League, A-League that I played in last year. And I think they beat us 2 out of the 3 times we played. Really good team. And they're staying at the A level, even with the great talents of a Will Russ.
Yeah. Well, they better buy a lot of beer. Let's just say that. So he could he definitely kills those coolers. But another rumor I heard at the A level, and I think our boy Peck has just posted it. The Demons making a return. The 2022 or 23 A National champions are coming back. I would believe they would probably go back to the A level, would be my guess.
I heard this over a month ago at the Forest Park A-League when we were playing. Someone said when a bunch, or not a bunch, but about 3 or 4 people, and I saw our boy Trumpy's always in the chat. Yeah. Trumpy, 2022 NME Coed champion, played with me that year. Yeah, good dude. A bunch of dudes left Goodwood at that point, and right at that point, it was Demons are coming back next year. Right. Who do they have? I don't know. And do they have to go back to A, or I guess it depends on their roster. That's the other thing. Who's going to review the roster to say, do you have to play major or are you an A team?
Well,
who reviews that?
I'm going back many years.
At Forest Park or at SSA? Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm going back many years. And I do remember that if you were out of, call it major ball for a couple years and you brought the team back, I would say, I mean, if they don't have major players from the previous year on their roster, meaning like half their roster is made up of major players and they come back as a legit A team, I can honestly see them, SSA, allowing it. I mean, they did it with Smack Out a couple times. They've done it with, who's the team that just played this year in the A National who won it, Line Drive?
Line Drive, yeah.
Yeah, Line Drive. So I can easily see the SSA allowing them to go back and play major or A softball in the tournaments, as long as they don't have 4, 5, 6, 7 guys at the major level that were on a major roster this year. I could easily see that happening, and I don't think they will. I know that Colin Farley, he played on Goodwood this year. I could see him going back to the Demons. I know Jim Barron, I could see him going back. I'm sure my nephew Pete, I'm sure there's a good possibility he would go back to the Demons. Little Brandon, so I mean they would have some nice ball players, but not by any means any major players from this year, at least, is what I'm saying.
Well, so you just classified them as A, so they'd be a force to reckon with an A then.
Yeah, I think they would be a quality A team, and I think the A division does need some help with getting more quality teams, from what I've been told. Right, so unfortunately, I watch a lot of the A division on live stream, either at Forest Park or when you guys have your A National No Glove or your A National Glove. So, that being said, I think that's something that would definitely help the A division. Now, I also heard that Los Barachos, they've got some players on the move. I heard that they're picking some people up. Last night I was talking with Sean Quinn about that. So that it looks like they're going to be improving the roster. Have you heard anything from Goodwood? Have you heard anything from, any of those A teams that you see in Melrose, or, like a team like Ribs? Have you heard anything out there?
We played Goodwood on Monday, and they had their core, Jeremy, Mikey, those guys. They're all there, and then they, like I said, they had Jack and Andrew Doss, who I think were just subbing that night. I haven't heard any ads. Their losses were major when, that was halfway into the season when Trumpy left and Joel left and people left, and they kind of still fought on.
Right.
But it wasn't the Goodwood team they had at the beginning of the year, which I thought was a monster A team.
Yes.
So they suffered those losses, and we're still very solid. My guy Joey Diaz is a beast. That's kind of an unknown guy. Um, they're just a really good A team, but I haven't heard about any additions now.
So what is the villain of Coed, our boy, doing?
Funny
What
you
is he
ask.
doing? So you were on 40 Deuce, I believe. You were the pitcher for 40 Deuce last year.
Last year I was, yes, correct.
You guys made the playing game.
We did.
You guys made the championship of the A at Forest Park.
We did.
So I mean, you guys had, I would say, an above average year for what Francisco expected going in. I would think, correct?
I would say so. I know Francisco ran that team with a guy named George, a good dude. Francisco is the guy that brought me to 16-inch softball when I was just playing in a park and pulled me into a tournament one time. Just a super, super good dude.
Sure.
And I guess it's breaking news. 40 Deuce is kind of branched off, and Francisco's doing his own thing, and George is doing his own thing. So
really,
I'm taking my talents to Big Red Machine.
Ooh, look at the hat, dude. I like it.
If you give me a bucket hat, I'm a slut. I'm kind of with you. But so Coach Francisco is doing Big Red Machine again, bringing that back, and George is going to run 40 Deuce. And I don't know the percentage of people that are going to Big Red Machine, but that's the people we're playing with in Melrose this fall ball is just kind of a Lou Rossi, as Trumpy just said. Lou Rossi is with us, a legend.
The Big Red Machine, that is the same team that goes to Yuma, correct?
Yeah, but I think when he goes to Yuma, which I was supposed to go and bailed about 3 weeks before, he gets like 4 or 5 guys from Arizona that play on that team. And I'm going with them to Vegas, and those guys drive up as well. But a core of that group, he calls kind of like when Richie does an all-star thing, he calls a slap and tickle instead of hex. So Francisco was always doing that in lieu of 40 Deuce when he was helping George run 40 Deuce for those years.
Yeah. So, yeah, Slap and Tickle, I have been a part of Slap and Tickle now for the last 4 years. I only play with Slap and Tickle there's a tournament or two around here, but usually just in Yuma. So I think Slap and Tickle, I think I don't think they ever won it up until 4 years ago. To my first year, I think. And then we won it 2 years, lost one, won it. So we're 3 of the last 4, at least, in Yuma for us. So we've had a good run so far. We'll see how this year goes. I think, going out there again, and it's always the same guys. I think that's why I think it's really cool. It's like if a guy or two drops, of course, we pick a guy up because we need bodies. But the core, the same team is always asked back the next year. And if someone bails, then we replace. So kind of similar to what you're saying with what Big Red Machine does. Do you see Big Red Machine making some noise next year in the A division?
If Francisco's not lying to me, and we have the people that he says we have, I believe so. And he's working on a couple pickups. Could do some damage. Yeah, I think he's got a good core group of people, and he's out picking up a couple people.
Yep. So our boy JP, which is I just heard yesterday, will not be returning it with Flash.
So I heard this as well. I heard he might be going to March.
Yeah, that's what I've been hearing, and I don't know how is he going to go to March. Is March going to have a team though? I'm hearing that a lot of the guys from March are considering leaving March or not considering playing next year. So I'd be curious. I have not heard anything from the Lynn team, the family who runs that team. I'd be curious to see what they have in mind. I did hear a pretty good rumor yesterday,
which is?
I should say yesterday, Tuesday. And I didn't ask and I didn't tell Shane last night, but that's Julian Russell going to Flash.
I mean, he played major nationals with them, didn't he?
He did.
That's a good entree.
JP just says, I will be back with Flash. So that is
interesting.
There you go. So he's going back to Flash. So the rumor that we heard is not true, but that's why we call it rumor mill.
Rumor mill's different in Coed, Jimmy. It's who's hooking up with who. That's the rumor mill in Coed.
Oh, okay. So who is hooking up with who?
I'm not going to even talk about that. But that's a different rumor mill, and that's what we have to deal with.
Yeah, you're not throwing that laundry out there, no doubt. So, yeah. So a couple other rumors that I have heard in the game, just in general, I heard that Anthony Stacy, we broke that news. He is going to the Fat Kids, as we said this weekend. We posted it. I've heard Iggy and Vito Circus. I've heard they're staying with Flash, so that's one of those two teams. I think those two guys are going to end up with. Have you heard anything else that we haven't talked about?
Have you heard anything about Macho since?
Nope, I have not. No. I heard him possibly going. That Signature was interested in him, and then I have not heard anything. It sounds like he's probably going to be staying with Fat Kids, is my guess.
I heard there's some people sniffing.
Yeah.
Circus.
Well, Circus might break.
They have the hole to fill, don't they?
Well, I mean, if they don't get Iggy and Vito, I would honestly say that team, there's a good possibility that they could possibly break up. I don't know. I know Flash is only going to play one league next year. I heard Alonji, not sure if he wants to play major balls. The rumor I'm hearing, I haven't talked to him or spoke with him, but there's definitely some back and forth going on with a lot of the guys out there now. And I know Iggy gets married in November, so that could have a lot to do with what happens with those teams, because he's not going to make a decision, is what I was told, until after his wedding. We just got breaking news that Joey Carbs is committed to Rismondo. Rismondo picking up Joey Carbs for next year in Major National.
Not a surprise. He's replacing Hooch as first base coach.
Hooch as the catcher. That is correct.
I will say, when it comes to Macho, one of my favorite players to play with, just a good dude and does his business and doesn't need accolades. Just a really solid guy. Yeah. One more note about that. If I heard from a reliable source that Circus is going to play in the Melrose League, which I thought the allure to Circus was they didn't play in any leagues and barely played in tournaments, so you didn't have to commit that much. But if they're going to play, and how are they not going to play in the Forest Park League, but they're also going to play in the Melrose League?
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm hearing. I'm hearing that they're not going to play in Forest Park, and I hear that they're only going to play in the Melrose League. Yeah.
That's interesting then.
So that's what I believe Chris Daggs requested or brought the idea to the team, and I think a lot of the guys on the team agreed that we're there.
Is it because Melrose is more malleable when it comes to, like, hey, we only want to play once a week and play double headers, so we'll help you out? Where Forest Park's like, we make the schedule and you have to do it.
Well, and I think that the Monday, Wednesday schedule, I don't think works for a lot of the guys on Circus. I don't think it has anything to do with the league itself. Obviously Forest Park's league and all leagues have taken a step back, right, at the major level, in my opinion, just because I don't think guys treat it as a legit major league other than the first month of the season, right? So those first month of the season early on, before the Westchester tournament, leagues that to me, I think matter. And then after the Westchester tournament, they fall off a cliff, and then after that Westchester tournament, you run into Yuma, you run into Iowa for the guys that play those tournaments. And then you kind of run into North-South, and then, then the gauntlet begins, right? So, in my opinion, I think that's how it goes. So
that's similar to the A teams. The A teams are all gearing up at Forest Park to get the bid, and then once that bid happens, you're searching for players after that until the playoffs come, and then everybody shows back up. But until then, after you get the bid, it was like the dugout was 16 deep, and then after No Glove Nationals, it's 6 p.m. on Tuesday, and you're trying to find one more player to fill out the roster.
So Mike Trump just said Jimmy back to short center. So I don't know what he means by that or where he's getting at. So
I think that means you're not pitching.
Yeah, that's what I think it means, right? So I don't know who he's speaking to. I don't know if he means me, but or somebody that we were discussing earlier. Is there anything else from a rumor mill perspective that you've heard?
Not that I've heard. Even on the A level, nothing that's spicy. Outside of well, they're kind of more of a B team. Beast Mode might be completely disbanded, which is there's a couple really good players there that could land somewhere. They were a high B. They wouldn't let them play in B Nationals without tell you how good of a B team they were, but they were playing A and doing decent at the Clyde League. But I
Yeah,
heard that they're breaking up, and then guys like Mike Cruz, who played on Fat Kids for years, is a great
yeah.
player. He might be going somewhere or back to Fat Kids. I don't, but that's the only kind of A rumor that I've heard.
So I've also heard that Whale has been looking to pick up some younger guys as well, which is I just heard that a couple days ago. I heard that
Don't
the
you have to
kid
be on the
from
Northwest Side to play on Whale, though?
that is correct. The Jack from Meatball, I heard he went there. He went to Whale. I've heard numerous guys kicked around the bucket with Whale, so it's going to be it's already been a fun off season. I think it's only going to get more entertaining as weeks come, as we get closer to usually around before Thanksgiving, and that's when you kind of really see that November 1st time rosters are really almost set for next year. Most of the time, nothing really happens nowadays until after really ever happens after November 1st. Where when I first started playing, no one even talked about softball until January or February of what was going on for next year. So the game has changed from that aspect. And I think it's changed because I don't think there's much of a talent pool like there used to be 15, 20, 30 years ago. So I don't know. What are your thoughts on that? Because that's a lot of things that people talk about.
Well, the game dying, that question kind of always ask.
Yeah.
How many tournaments do we actually play in Chicago? There's no Grant Park tournament. I kind of came in after all that, and it always looked like those Grant Park tournaments were so fun. And
They were. I got to play in two of them in my career. So they were a lot of fun.
you're on the lakefront playing at Grant Park, even though the fields are like really right next to each other, but it just looked like a great time.
Yeah.
You can't get any Chicago tournaments happening outside of like your charity tournament. I think is actually in Chicago limits, but how many tournaments are actually in the city of Chicago? They're all in the burbs.
Yeah.
You're not. Are you growing the game in the park neighborhoods? Hamlin's a huge. They have huge leagues there in Coed and men's. But where are the park leagues in the city of Chicago that are great? The South Side Leagues, Kennedy, obviously, but get it back
Well,
to Chicago. Grant
yeah.
Park's supposed to be just dissolving now, and they're going to take the fields out. That's just
Yeah.
a complete shame. But hold a big tournament in the city of Chicago on the lake.
Yeah. No, I mean, I'm hoping. Well, I mean, to your point, it's the suburbs, but Berwyn's pretty close to Chicago, I guess.
I like Genera.
Yeah. I mean, the problem is finding. You're right, though. I think parks in Chicago, like I think Wentworth Park's a beautiful park. They don't have lights, though. You know what I mean? So you got to do everything during the day. And the way, unfortunately, a lot of our tournaments are structured, they like to be out there 4 days for whatever reason. So I also think like if you do the 1 or 2 day tournaments, that people would actually want to play more, right? You're not giving up all your weekends too, because I think that's also another thing that actually hurts the major game is that all these teams that want to play major ball, their biggest thing is can you make 5 weekends? You'll hear that all the time. Can you make 5 weekends? Well, those 5 weekends being the 5 major tournaments, and all 5 of those major tournaments, I think, with the exception of nationals, is 4 days. Okay, and I understand, and I get, oh, you only play 3 days. I get that, but Chris, you know as well as I know, right now, if you're committing to a team next year, you have to plan on being at that field Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday for
Correct.
those major.
You
You don't know if you're going to play Friday. You don't know if you're going to play Thursday. I guess unless you're Richie Battistoni and you request what you want, but outside of that, you don't know, right? So you still got to plan for 4 days. So I hate when they say that.
Here's a funny story. So 40 Deuce this past year had we call it the over 40 gang. Lou Rossi, Dave Winslow, Francisco, Josh, CS. And
Right.
when we got the play-in bid, we heard like the day that we played at Forest Park, so we cracked a couple beers, and all the young kids were like, "Hey, we got in. You guys are gonna have fun with this." And they're like, "What's the date on that again?" It's like they don't even know. They,
Right.
and these kids there's some studs that we had on the team, but they're like they don't even pay attention to that level of like,
Right.
no, we got in Forest Park. This is a great deal, even though it's just a play-in game or whatever. It's still it's a big ass deal for an A team to even get the
Right.
play-in. And they're like, "What day is it again? I want to make sure I'll try and get off. I'll try and get off." That should have
Right.
been cleared a long time ago. That's the
Right.
big dog of the year.
Yeah, no, and I was out there for those playing games, and they were competitive too.
Yeah, there's some good
You
teams
know,
out there. And I
yeah,
know people dig on Ribs a lot of Forest Park kids on there. Those kids, when they have their college kids, which is the difference maker, so they'll play in leagues starting in May, and maybe they'll drop a couple games because they have kids in college. When those kids get back from college in late May, that team
yeah,
becomes a really good team.
right,
Really good team. And I don't know if even Andrew Doss said it, but it's like the YTD of 2025 or whatever. Yeah, they're
yeah,
local. They're a local team, but they got some good young players on that team. So there I go. I defended Ribs. Richie ripping
yeah,
me.
yeah. No, 100%. No, I also heard there's a lot of rumors going around, floating around. Little B, people have been calling me. Little B's coming to the 45s. He's coming to play. I
Well, he
don't know.
posted. Didn't he post a picture of himself back in the 45s jersey or something?
Yeah, yeah.
Just to incite. Oh, but then Wes all last year at Major Nationals wore signature hat the whole time just to have people talk.
Of course. Yeah. I get to wear his batting gloves on Sunday, so I'm excited. I get to play
I mean,
with
his
him.
gardening gloves.
Yeah, I might bring a set too, just in case. So, but no, we're playing at the Los Barachos tournament.
Yeah, we didn't even talk about the Brachos tournament.
Yeah,
The bracket's not even out yet, and it's Thursday at 10 o'clock.
well, I think they posted like don't they do like a little pool play thing
It's
too?
pool play single elim, which is one of your favorite things. But I had not seen a bracket. I mean, when we went live, I didn't see a bracket. Is the bracket out now? There's
I
two
got like
divisions, right? A and a B
I didn't see a
division.
bracket. I just saw game times for the pool play. That's all I saw.
Oh, okay. Well,
I'm,
pool play into
I'm
the single elim, right? And there's two
right.
divisions.
That's what I'm thinking. So, and I think one of the teams just dropped out as of this morning. So who knows? But either way, I'm looking for a fun day. I know they do a great job. Frank just said the bracket is out
Oh,
now,
good.
so
Good.
it just got posted. So that's good. We also have the ASA. Our boy Staples. Yes, our boy Staples is running a tournament on October 4th. I know that Stars and Stripes. I know Papa Magoo's will be in there. There's going to be a lot of teams out there, from what I'm being told. I think the last I checked in with him, he had 13 or 14.
Wow.
That's going to be in Burbank underneath the power lines, and I think it's growing. And he only does one day, so I'm hoping I think he's going to cap it at 13 or 14.
And the power lines are in play.
Power lines are in play. If you hit a power line, yes. Unfortunately, I think it's dead ball. Actually, I don't think it's in play.
I thought it was in play.
Is it in play?
Dead ball?
I think it was dead ball.
I haven't played out there in a couple of years.
Yeah, because I'm almost positive it's dead ball.
Staples is watching right now. He can chime in quickly.
I'm sure he could. Frank
and everyone has to go to Uncle Frank's after.
Frank said he's going to send. Frank just sent me the thing, and yeah. So the like you said, the pool play is out. So there's opponent each team matchups of what they have. So you have BY or BWO LGE. Well, they got abbreviations at the top, I guess. LBS, Cody Rats, BRM.
That's the B division then.
Warlogs, Horny Boys, Playmakers, Blue Balls, Bullies. So I mean, it looks like they have a pretty solid amount of teams out there. So it should be a fun. Are you going to be out there this weekend?
I will be out there with BRM. Yes.
Oh, nice. Who is on BRM?
I thought there's supposed to be two divisions. I heard it was open, and you can only have one or two majors in the other division.
Okay.
Are you just seeing one big thing?
All I'm seeing is team 1, team 2, and it shows in like bracket pool. That's all it's showing. Like like who they're playing. So it doesn't show me. He's got it listed yellow, blue, green, and purple. But I don't know. I mean, I'm sure he does. I mean, if he's doing an A division and a major division, I'm sure he's got it. So I know we play the Blue Balls. We play Bullies, which I believe Bullies dropped out today. And then I believe we play Strictly Business after that. So, but either way, it's going to be a fun weekend. I know it's at Hamlin Park. He does do a good thing. Puts on a tournament out there. Yeah, see, Dave Padilla just chimed in and said it's a dead ball when it hits the wire. So
Make even more controversy then, because no one can tell if it actually hits the wire.
yeah, so Steve said it's pool play is one group. Then we go to a 2-game or 2 groups in single elimination tournament for each group. So there you go. So
Yeah, that made no sense, Steve.
well, yeah, that's what he said. So, but you know what, Chris? Is there anything you want to leave tonight? Any questions you want to ask me, man? You've been a great guest. A lot of information on the Coed side. I think this was a great idea. I'm glad you actually reached out to me to do this. This is great. I know Donnie was playing tonight, so that's why Donnie couldn't join
Yeah, I didn't
us.
reach out to actually be on. I said, "Are you going to cover it?" And you said, "Well, you have to come on if we're going to cover it because
That's
Donnie has
right.
to play in some C league at Genera or something."
Yeah,
So I was happy to step in and help out. But
Yeah.
yeah,
But
because
you
the
knew a
co-ed game
lot
needs a little coverage too. And I know you don't. I know you don't like the co-ed game particularly, but we saw you come out and cover your wife playing, and it was a great picnic game.
Yeah. It was the Friday night. What is it? Normandy Park. So
All games are like 6 o'clock, right?
yeah, they
Because they have no
start
lights.
6:15, 7:15, 8:15, 9:15.
Oh, really? They have lights at Normandy?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
So it's only one field, and they play literally till 11 o'clock, and it's pretty cool because I think majority of the people will sit out there and watch all the games. You know what I mean? Unless, of course, you know, like myself, I got to bring my 3 kids, so we'll stay for like one game and then we leave. But either way, we hang out for a while. It's a good time, and most of the kids or most of the people that are on my wife's team, they all have kids too, so they try to get the earlier games, which is nice. So, but it's a fun league, and you know, it's co-ed, and I have nothing against co-ed, so don't say that, the villain. All right, you are the villain, and I will be ripping your balls all weekend long if you lose this weekend. So,
Well, get your ass to Melrose this weekend after the football game.
I'm gonna try, my man. I'm gonna try. So,
I had fun. Thanks for having me.
hey, man, Chris, I appreciate you joining, and look forward to a fun weekend in Melrose. So, thank you guys for joining the Uncle Jimmy and Cousin Donnie show, sponsored by the Beacon Tab, Signature Transportation Group, and Mom and Dad Water. So.